Okay, stepping into a new year always feels like the turning of a page for me. Not in a new year, new me kind of way, but in the sense that it gives me a moment to stop, breathe, and really notice who I've become. And if I'm honest, I'm walking into 2026 with this feeling of transition, like I've already stepped into the new season and now I'm just settling into it, becoming the woman God has been shaping me into for a while now. Hey friend, I'm Jessica, and this is With My Whole Heart. I'm a real-life woman juggling a lot of real-life things, raising girls, running a hair salon, chasing big dreams, and doing my best to stay grounded through it all. If you've ever found yourself in the thick of it, somewhere between who you've been and who you're becoming, this space is for you. Here, we talk about the middle, the messy, meaningful, beautiful middle. The big leaps, the small wins, the hard lessons, and the heart-led pivots. From business and beauty to faith, motherhood, and everything in between, nothing's off limits. So grab your coffee or your tea, get cozy, and let's dive in, because this journey, we're walking it together with our whole hearts. This past year was one of the most transformative years of my life. Hard, truly one of the hardest years, but also clarifying, slowing me down, reprioritizing what actually matters, bringing me home to myself, and most importantly, reconnecting me with God in a way I honestly hadn't done in years. It's funny looking back now because for a long time, I genuinely believed suffering wasn't going to be part of my story. When I was in my early 20s, I took one of those spiritual gift tests, the kind you take when you're young and hungry for purpose, wanting God to show you exactly who you are and what you're designed for. And my absolute lowest scoring gift was the gift of suffering. And in my naive, innocent little mind, I immediately thought, okay, so that means God won't ask that of me. I'm not built for suffering. And I truly believed that. I thought spiritual gifts were almost like protective boundaries, strengths God would keep me inside of and weaknesses He'd shield me from. So, because I believed I wasn't built for suffering, I became afraid of it. Afraid of pain, afraid of things falling apart, afraid of anything I couldn't plan, predict, or control. And that fear, that belief, eventually turned into anxiety. Anxiety that shaped my decisions long before I ever called it by name. I tried to avoid anything that felt risky or painful. I tried to stay ahead of every outcome. I tried to control more than any human actually can. But life doesn't work like that. Faith doesn't work like that. And God certainly doesn't work like that. Suffering came anyway, in ways I never expected and never felt prepared for. And yet, I learned something that changed everything. I am built for suffering, not because I'm naturally strong, but because He is. These last 2 years have shown me that suffering isn't a punishment. It's a place where God meets you, where He carries you, where intimacy with Him becomes real, not theoretical. It's where I learned to trust Him when nothing made sense. And now, looking back, I can see it so clearly. My fear of suffering had more power over me than the suffering itself. Because the suffering didn't destroy me, it shaped me. It softened me, it drew me closer, it grounded me in truth, it taught me how to let God be God, and that truth is changing everything about who I'm becoming. Turning 38 felt like stepping straight into a storm I didn't see coming. Grief, illness, anxiety, heartbreak, all of it hitting at once. And then turning 39, it didn't magically lift. The grief continued, the ache continued, and on top of that, my own pain, I had to watch my kids walk through their own. It was 2 full years of hell, honestly. 2 years that stretched me, stripped me, softened me, and forced me into a kind of dependence on God that I had never experienced before. All of that has shaped the clarity I'm bringing into 2026. Because this year, more than ever, I'm asking myself who I want to be, not what I want to do. I want to be grounded. I want to be peaceful. And above everything, I want to be spirit-led. For so long, I built a lot of things in my own strength. And yes, I accomplished a lot, but the cost was high. Exhaustion, disconnection from my Heavenly Father, and the constant feeling that I was pushing against resistance I didn't have to. And I can see now that if I had surrendered sooner, some things could have come easier, softer, with less strain. So spirit-led is the identity I'm stepping into. I feel God calling me deeper into spiritual intimacy, into slowing down, into releasing control. And there are a few patterns I'm not dragging into the new year. Overcommitting, doing things in my own strength, and letting fear lead the way. And honestly, success feels different for me now. Success in 2026 feels like alignment. It feels like walking with Jesus daily, having margin in my calendar, leading Hustle and Heart Salon without losing myself, raising my daughters with intention, being emotionally regulated, finding peace not because life is easy, but because God is present. And now let's talk about goal setting, because this is where my heart lives. I've always loved goal setting. Since I was young, I loved dreaming big, loved hope, loved the idea of a fresh start. But back then, I didn't know how to set goals that actually meant something. I would say them out loud, hope for the best, and then fall off by February. As I got older, I learned how to create goals that stretched me but didn't crush me. And that's where the goal digger work I do for my salon team came from. We break everything down into health, personal, and career. And we start with the end in mind, asking ourselves, in 10 years, who do I want to be? Where do I want to be? What does my life look like? Because when you see the big picture, working backwards becomes easier. If in 10 years you want the beach home, then maybe in 5 years you need a rental property that creates income. And if that's the 5-year goal, then what has to happen this year? Maybe meeting with a realtor, maybe learning more about investing, maybe looking at your finances. And we don't just write the goals, we write the vision. We write it like it's happening. In 10 years, I see myself at this age. I'm sitting on the beach with a ginger ale in hand. My Hashimoto's is stable. I feel good in my body. I'm thriving. I'm living in alignment. The details matter because the details anchor it. So even saying like the sun is shining, my feet are in the sand, just all the details. And one of my favorite parts of the process is the Who Am I page. It's where you get to sit with the woman you're becoming and write her into being. The prompts go like this. In 10 years, I am blank years old. In 10 years, I feel. In 10 years, I am. In 10 years, I contribute by. In 10 years, my achievements include. In 10 years, I've experienced. In 10 years, I love. In 10 years, I'm surrounded by. In 10 years, I'm a point of inspiration and influence for. And in 10 years, I'm helping bring into the world, fill in the blank. It's not about checking boxes. It's about becoming the woman who can hold the life you're creating. And because I know this part of the process can feel big or emotional or even a little intimidating, I'm giving you the exact Who Am I in 10 years journaling page that we use inside of the salon. You'll find it linked in the show notes. Take it, sit with it, pray through it, and let it help you hear from God as you start mapping out where He's leading you in 2026. It's a simple tool, but it has a way of pulling clarity out of your heart that you didn't even realize was there. And once you've taken that time to sit with God and write out who you're becoming, that's when your goals start to actually make sense. That's when they stop being random tasks and start becoming intentional steps. And that's exactly how my own goals for 2026 came to life. They're all rooted in that identity work. My biggest goal is getting healthy. With my Hashimoto's diagnosis, I'm committed to getting my levels balanced, working closely with my naturopath, getting my energy back, clearing the brain fog, and feeling like myself again. Goals for With My Whole Heart is simple. Reach more people, share Jesus, tell my story so women know they're not alone. And of course, there's Hustle and Heart Salon. There have been things quietly brewing behind the scenes for a long time. Conversations, prayers, hopes, timing that never felt quite right. It's been one of those dreams that lived in the background, something I held with open hands, never fully knowing when or how it would happen, but trusting that when the moment came, I'd know. And we're here now. This is actually the first time I'm saying this out loud publicly, and honestly, even hearing myself say it feels surreal. Hustle and Heart Salon is officially expanding. We got the space next door. We are knocking down walls. We are doing construction. We are creating more room to breathe, more space for growth, more space for the kind of experience we've always dreamed of giving our guests. And one of the biggest blessings in this expansion is something I prayed for since the very beginning: an on-street entrance. I know that might sound like a small thing, but for us, it's life-changing. It means visibility. It means accessibility. It means people will finally be able to find us without circling downtown 3 times and texting us, "I think I'm lost." It's a fresh chapter for the salon, one that feels aligned, purposeful, and honestly overdue in the best way. With this expansion, we'll also have room to bring on a couple more hairstylists. The right women, the right timing, the right energy. And there's something new launching early in 2026, something deeply aligned with who we are as a salon that I'm keeping quiet a little longer. But just know it's good. It's so, so good. And then there's my faith, my favorite part of all of this. In 2026, I'm joining a group of women, and together we'll be reading the entire Bible in a year. I'm craving that accountability, that consistency, that intimacy with God, and I'm ready for that rhythm. To stay aligned this year, I'm committing to weekly Sabbath rest, Sundays with phones away, no work, space to breathe and reconnect. I'm supporting my nervous system with things that actually help in a Minnesota winter. I'm getting a grounding mat, a vitamin D lamp, supplements, intentional rests, and our team will be doing vision boards, not the fluffy kind, but the kind that align with our deeper goals and our identity work. And I want to end today with this. Episodes like this, where we talk about goals and growth and becoming a new version of ourselves, can sometimes feel overwhelming, like, okay, here's another thing that I have to do. But I don't want this to feel like another task. Start with being. Start with stillness. Start with asking, who is God calling me to be in this next season? And if you remember anything from today, let it be this. God puts desires on your heart for a reason. They're not random. They're not vain. They're not selfish. They're purposeful, planted there on purpose by a God who knows exactly what he's doing. You are capable, not because you have every answer, not because you're strong enough on your own, but because God has already given you everything you need. So stay plugged into him. Don't do things in your own power. And if you feel resistance, pause. That knowing in your spirit is not just intuition, it's him. You're stepping into a new year with purpose, clarity, direction, and God leading the way. And I'm right here with you, walking into 2026 with my whole heart. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Your time is valuable, and I'm honored you spent it here. I hope something in this conversation met you right where you are. If it stirred something in your spirit or spoke to your heart, I'd truly love to hear about it. My DMs are always open. I love connecting with you. And as you go, just remember, you're not walking through this life alone. Until next time, stay grounded, keep showing up, and keep leaning into the purpose that's been placed on your heart. I'll be right here, cheering you on with my whole heart.